Now at 5, Metro Police sharing this crazy video out of the Central Valley.
Yeah, street race takeover right in the middle of here of a busy intersection. And we're now learning that 4 people were shot and hurt while all this was happening.
Take a look at the map. It happened Sunday morning at the intersection of Bermuda and Pilot. That is right off of Sunset Road near the airport.
And that's where we find our Fox 5's Shana Kalafi joining us live now with the latest on this situation.
Yeah, pretty crazy scene. You saw some of it on that video. That was on Saturday night into Sunday early morning, but the marks are left behind here. You can see a lot of tire marks, not just in this intersection, but down these 2 streets as well. And we talked to one person who works in this area. He says that the sights of street racing are nothing new, but it is getting more dangerous. Chaos caught on camera at the intersection of Bermuda and Pilot Roads early Sunday morning as a street takeover turned violent. 4 people shot, 1 still in critical condition at the hospital.
The racing of the cars is one thing, but now that it's escalated to a shooting, I'm glad the cops are all over it.
Police are now searching for the people responsible, releasing video of the incident and asking anyone with information to come forward.
There's a ton of cameras in this area, and if you look, there was some good footage, but far away. So it just has to happen everywhere. They just like this spot because it was pretty, not much going on at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night.
The sight of tire marks is nothing new for the people in the area. A man who works nearby says he's been noticing signs of street racing for the last year, but this latest incident has escalated the issue.
I drive by it on the way to work all the time, and there's always fresh tires on that corner. And this time there just happened to be a shooting that we were told about.
And again, 4 people were shot. 1 person, we're told, is still in critical condition at the hospital. And now police are looking for answers. Any information that you may have, they say, please come forward. Reporting live, Shana Kalafi, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.